Hey everybody, I'm back to talk about the latest episode of The Strain. Now, if you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button because I will be back every week to talk about all the episodes of The Strain this season. Okay, now let's get into this episode. Now, first of all, let's talk about the Congresswoman. Honey, she had her a rough time. Okay? Now, at first, she was ambushed by this reporter to do this interview. And during the interview, the reporter asked her about what's going on with the police detaining all of these people they should be arresting and prisoners and using them in the front lines of battle with the vampires. And the congresswoman had no idea this was going on. So she was ambushed by that and she just cut the interview off and she was like, y'all need to get out. You came here to start mess, honey. I didn't know nothing that was going on. So, she tried to eat her face up a little bit. But, the reporter was just like, well, I'm just trying to let the people know what's going on. And so she left. And then later on, she goes and she talks to Frank, who is, the head of her security team. And he goes and he shows her what's been going on. Now, when she goes to see what's going on, she runs into Gus and Angel. Now, she doesn't know who they are, but I was like, oh, I wish somebody would drop names so that y'all could get out of there, get Gus and Angel out of there. But anyway, so Gus and Angel, they are actually sent in to kill some of the vampires. And of course, Gus is like, I need some gloves and, I wish I had a gun, but they're not gonna give them no guns. So they went in there and they fought. And I mean, just about everybody got killed. But before they even went in there, Gus told them, y'all know good and well that these people ain't equipped to go in here and do it. And he told that one guard, why you sending us in here? You too scared to go in there yourself. And you got a gun. Right? Which was right. So the only people that really made it out was like Gus Angel and then another dude who looked like he was shook up. And come on. And Gus told them, hey, something is different because they're not moving together. They're more wild than they used to be. And the dude was like, yeah, thanks. I'll make a note of it. I'm ready for Gus and them to get up out of there. Get back with, I want the crew back. Okay? But anyway, so the congresswoman sees that. Now let's talk about Abraham and Fett as they confront Ephraim. Ephraim just comes clean and he's like, look, the reason why I did what I did was because the master told me if I bring him the lumen, then I'll get my son back. And they were just looking at him like, well, that was a good plan, wasn't it? Because, I mean, they're going off of the assumption that the master is dead. Even though Quinlan is still alive and he thought that his life was directly tied in with the master's, they're all just like, well, I guess it was wrong. The prophecy was wrong. You're still alive. The master's dead. It's all good. But Abraham, in the back of his mind, he knows he saw that big old red worm crawl out of that body after it happened. So he's kind of adamant about it. But he tells Ephraim that he needs to get out and just give him his space for a little while. But, I'm surprised that that's all he said because Fett had the reaction that I thought Abraham and Fett was going to have. He just punched him in the face. Just straight up like, okay. So now you know where we stand. So then once he's kicked out of there, he goes back to the house and who comes to see him? Dutch. I'm glad she came back. She got there and she tells him, all my friends are dead and I needed a place to come crash. Can I crash here? And he's like, yeah, that's cool or whatever. Now, Quinlan and Abraham sat down and had a conversation. And they both feel like something is up because neither one of them feels certain that the master is dead. They both have apprehensions about it. So they go see the ancients. That's what I'm going to call them. The old vampires who, the three of them. And they say, oh, we felt that, his host body is probably gone, but he's not dead. And they looking like, what you mean? And that's when Abraham says, well, I saw this big red worm, go down the drain. Does that have anything to do with it? And they're like, yeah, that's his life essence. If you didn't kill that big red worm, then the master's not dead. So Quinlan gets pissed and he's like, oh, so y'all couldn't tell me that? Like, I understand that everything has to be hush hush in a secret, but y'all couldn't tell me that when I cut his head off, I need to kill the worm too? Like, come on. What are y'all doing? So he got mad and he's like, you know what? take a good look at this face because you never gonna see it again. Y'all couldn't tell me how to accurately kill him. Like, y'all know I'm trying to get rid of him and y'all want him gone too. So why y'all couldn't share that information? It's so stupid. And then they didn't want to really discuss anything because Abraham was there. Y'all stupid. So their gut feeling was correct. He's not dead. So poor Zach was just sitting in his room, minding his own business. And one of the vampires busted up in there and tried to bite him. And his mama came and saved the day. But honey, just when she was hugging her baby, and telling him, I'm going to protect you, honey, she started hearing that vein in his neck, honey. Her mouth got watery. And she was ready to bite him. But then number one came in. And he's like, what's going on in here? And she's like, I tried to save him and rescue him. Everything is going crazy. And he's like, you know what? Why wasn't y'all more careful? So he's upset that this happened to the master while he was out with her. And I know he's thinking in his mind, if I would have been there, none of that would have happened, which probably is true because he would have went on a killing spree trying to save the master. But anyway, so he's trying to hold the fort down while the master doesn't have a body. So he gathers around a few of the good vampires, the ones that are not totally bloodthirsty. And he picks out two specific ones because they are, I think one is a guard and one looks like maybe a lawyer or something. I don't know what she was. But both of them were working with the councilwoman. And so now that they're turned over, he has power over them a little bit. They're all on the same team. And so he tells those two to come here because he has a plan for them, because he's ready to strike back. And he comes up with this amazing idea. And the idea is to put bombs in their bodies and have them go commit suicide. And y'all, they did it. They did it. And they walk right through. They don't even look like they're turned when they go in there where the congresswoman is. The congresswoman is there, Fett is there, Frank is there, and the rest of the people that work around her. So it's two of them. So they both show up at the headquarters and they explode, blow themselves up. And of course, when they do that, the worms go everywhere and so many people are infected, and even the councilwoman. Y'all, I was so scared. She was sitting there and that worm just started trickling down her face. And I'm like, girl, will you do something like that? Like, get it off your face. But no, she just sat there and it went in her eye. And Fat luckily was sitting right there beside her. And he held the UV light up to it and it kind of burned it out. So she has like this little scar on her face. But she had to wait to see if she was really infected or not. But luckily, since Fett was there and he caught it early, like when it first went under her skin, she's not infected. Thank goodness he was there. And I'm like, whoo. Oh, girl, I thought we lost you, girl. I thought we lost you. And then once she found out that she wasn't infected, she said, you know what? I just had a moment of clarity. And honey, that councilwoman went down to that station where that reporter was, honey, and she's like, you know what? It's been bombings around here, and you not out reporting that. You in here working on this story that you did about me, and you trying to embarrass me and, act all silly. But you know what? I got something for that, girl. I got something for that. And she's like, what are you going to do? You can't do nothing about it. And she was like, oh, okay, watch this. And she was like, confiscate all this stuff. We need everything packed up. Get it all. Make sure you get it all. And the reporter was just looking at her like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. And she was like, oh, okay. Arrest her. And what y'all think gonna happen once she get arrested? Huh? She gonna be down there with Gus and them. See, that's what you get. Don't mess with the councilwoman. But I like this new fire that's in her, honey, because, at first she was trying to do everything, be, stern but fair and all that. But now she's like, you know what? I ain't having it. Okay, we trying to fight these things out here, and I don't need nobody stopping us or getting in our way. Okay, you doing the most, and you're not listening, girl. You're not listening. So, yeah, go on and fight them then. You finna be right down in the front lines. So after all the bombing and all that stuff happened, they called Ephraim down there. And of course, he had Dutch with him. So Dutch and Fett saw each other for the first time since everyone split up and went their own way. and they had this awkward kind of a talk. And the whole time I'm just looking like, don't even try it. Don't be trying to get back up under him. Nope. And as soon as she walked up to him, he was like, is that my shirt? And she was like, oh, yeah, I've been at your house. Is it okay if I stay there? And he's like, yeah, I ain't really been staying there no way. It don't really feel like home to me. And I was like, yep, eat her face up. Keep cutting her where it hurts. And he's like, where your little girlfriend? And she's like, oh, well, she went off with her mom. And he was like, oh, you didn't want to go? And she was like, I wasn't invited. And he was like, I'm sorry for that. And he seemed genuinely sorry for that. And see, I love him. He's, that big, tall, protective man. Mm-mm-mm. She's stupid. But anyway, so I'm glad that he was civil to her and he kind of shut her down a little bit. I want him and the councilwoman to be together. I don't know why, but I don't know. I like their dynamic. But so Ephraim and Dutch, they're gonna be cohabitating, and then you got Fet and Abraham who are together, and you got Gus and Angel who are together. So I don't know anyone that's alone, which is good. Even though Zach is with his mama, I wish he was at home with his daddy, but no, that's where he wanted to be. So let him stay there. Now, did y'all catch it? When number one was cutting open the guard to put the bomb inside of him, he wore gloves. Why was he wearing gloves, y'all? Does he have to be protective of the worms too? Why did he do that? I don't know. If y'all know, drop it in the comments below. If I left anything out, please comment and let me know. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button and comment, and let's keep the conversation going, and I will see you all in the next video. All right.